Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Friday, the 8th of January 2021, and both gold and silver took a hammering today. What's going on? Well, let's take a look, shall we? Yesterday we produced two videos. Gold and silver reaction to Biden and Harris confirmation, and Bitcoin versus gold and silver episode 5, intrinsic value. Now in the first of these videos we pointed out that although Biden and Harris were confirmed president and vice president as from the 20th of January by the Congress, and that at the time it looked as if the Democrat Party would win both seats in the Senate in the Georgia runoff, thereby giving the Democrats control over both houses of Congress as well as the presidency, we were somewhat disappointed by the relatively flat nature of the gold and silver price reaction. We even suggested that it is quite possible that to some extent this had all been baked into market expectations. Well, at the time of publication of this video, which is 17:35 GMT, both gold and silver have taken an absolute hammering today, and silver in particular. Gold is down $69 or 3.6% in the last 24-hour period, and silver is down $2.17 or a whopping 8%, with its price standing at $24.88. And markets are still not closed yet and could fall further. What on earth happened today to cause such a price drop when everything was looking so positive for precious metals? Because whatever happened, Bitcoin has risen another almost $4,000 today and is standing at an incredible $41,169. To think when we started our Bitcoin series, it was a little over 18,000 and it was peaking towards 20,000, its all-time high. This less than 5 weeks ago. Well, Edward Moyer, senior market analyst at Oanda, told Reuters today, quote, "Gold is having a major fundamental shift for many investors, and they're starting to abandon their safe haven trade for gold. You're probably going to see that the treasury market sees some strong flows, and that's taking away some of the appeal from gold," unquote. Now, we've stated all week, including our weekly update, which was published, in fact, last Friday, that we should watch out for the non-farm payroll report due out today. And we stated even yesterday or Wednesday not to expect the figures today to be good. Well, they weren't. In fact, they were awful. Rather than showing a positive job gain figure, albeit perhaps a low one, we actually saw a moderately large job loss figure for December. Minus 140,000 jobs, compared with plus 336,000 in November. Now this has clearly had an impact, losing jobs for the first time in this report for now 8 months. Really, since the start, almost the start or the peak, spring-summer peak of the pandemic. All of these factors have led to a 10-year bond yield rising to its highest level since March, and expectations of major financial stimulus en route abounds. So why hasn't gold and silver risen then? Well, as far as gold is concerned, whilst markets have seen it as a hedge against inflation and currency debasement that could result from widespread stimulus, especially from last year, that has changed somewhat, or perhaps the sentiment has changed somewhat, as higher bond yields increase the opportunity cost of holding non-interest yielding bullion. Can't win, can you? Whichever strategy one adopts, it seems to be wrong. Now, Bart Melek, head of commodity strategies at TD Securities, told Reuters today, quote, "We're going to see a lot more stimulus, and that ultimately moves interest rates higher," unquote. So one asks, how does that work? More stimulus equals more money printing equals more currency devaluation, and yet lower gold. Well, the dollar has also gained ground today, but only by 0.2, with the index now standing at 90. So that impact is relatively minimal. It's a change of sentiment in the short term. Long term, all of this stimulus will have an impact. And when inflation enters the economy, and with the Fed limited as to how high it can push rates, especially while the national debt is so high, we may very well see gold benefit, as it does tend to perform better during inflationary times rather than what we're experiencing currently, which are deflationary times. Not only are we witnessing that today, but it is what Harry Dent has been banging on about for the last 10 years or so. Not that we're expecting prices to fall to the extent that Harry Dent has been proclaiming. Now, with regard to silver, it's potentially a double whammy. First, it is affected by gold's fall, certainly from a monetary metal point of view. And secondly, poor economic figures suggest that anticipated silver's industrial demand could be under threat, at least short term. Please notice we keep saying this short term. That said, once the vaccination program's rolled out and we start to reach the levels of herd immunity via vaccines and people get back to work as shutdowns are reversed, then confidence in silver will renew. Now, we're watching this closely because in some respects, we're hoping the market will overcorrect and push silver below our predictive forecast low of this year of around $24. And if it should push silver close to $20, which was essentially our predictive low for the last half of year of 2020, the last half of 2020, it will become a bargain. But for now, that's a wishful thinking, but watch it. Now, tomorrow, we will be publishing our Gold and Silver Weekly Update, and we'll highlight where we believe prices will move next week. It's going to be somewhat interesting in view of today's fall. What we will suggest also, though, is just put a cursory look at platinum. It's risen recently quite well, over 20% over the last 6 months. And should it fall back somewhere into the $900 category, could be well worth a second look or glance, taking a 2 to 3 year view in mind. Now, on the political front, President Trump has confirmed that there will be a change of administration on the 20th of January, aka Joe Biden, though he didn't mention his name. But he will not be personally attending the event. So he obviously meant Joe Biden because he won't be there. So sorry to all those who argued with us that Biden will become president and who said no, he won't, because even Trump is now admitting it. Now, a little gift for those who've been commenting on insider dealing and precious metal market manipulation. You will be pleased to hear the following snippet from Bloomberg. Quote, Deutsche Bank AG agreed to pay $100 million settlement to settle criminal allegations, including that it manipulated the market for precious metal futures through a trading tactic known as spoofing, according to a person familiar with the matter. The bank agreed to a deal in which it won't be prosecuted as long as it doesn't engage in the tactic again for 3 years, and wasn't required to plead guilty to the charges. The case was brought by federal prosecutors in Brooklyn, New York, who last year secured a $920 million fine against JP Morgan Chase & Co. for similar conduct. 2 Deutsche Bank traders, Cedric Chanu and James Vorley, were convicted in September of manipulating prices for gold and silver contracts. They were charged with entering bogus bids for contracts, cancelling them before the orders were filled, and profiting off the price swings in between. Unquote. Now this, to a large extent, endorses our frequent comment that the prime manipulators of gold and silver are not necessarily some secret government agent, but greedy bullion banks and traders deliberately exploiting loopholes in the markets to make a quick buck. Thought we'd cheer you up on a Friday evening with that piece of news. But we in the UK seriously shake our heads, because if that happened here, people would go to jail and there would be criminal charges. But it does appear that in America, money can buy you out of crime. Anyway, what do you think? Do share your thoughts. Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel, not forgetting to press the bell sign so you're notified of our videos as and when they are published, and looking forward to tomorrow's weekly update and Sunday's Bitcoin versus gold and silver 6. What will the price of Bitcoin be then? We hope you have found this video interesting and informative, and if so, please give it a thumbs up and share it on social media. Please ensure that you have subscribed to our channel and press the bell sign so that you are notified of any future videos. Also, kindly visit our website at illuminatisilver.com, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe either as a free or paying member for regular email updates and offers. Disclaimer: Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.